Well, 20 years ago, Debbie and I were teaching a theater therapy class at a federal prison. And during that period of time, we workshopped a play with the inmates, and that play became Three Hots and a Cot.
The whole reason that we started doing theater therapy was I was doing my internship in counseling, and I thought, what would be great is if we could teach our students, inmates, vicariously what are the consequences of their actions, and then maybe we could do it through theater where they try different roles on. And Bureau of Prisons was a little, looking at that a little askance, like, wait, what are you doing, theater therapy? And so it took me about 6 months to convince them that this was a good idea. And I think it's still going on now.
This is nuts. Like, none of them can make it on the outside. They have a real convict mentality, a lot of them.
Hey, Vic!
Last year, I found an old copy of the script as I was going through a file cabinet. And I said, wait, we were always going to do this on the outside because we've only done it one time on the inside of the Federal Medical Center. So I called up Theo and said, remember we were always going to do this show, Three Hots and a Cot, and we thought this is the best time to do it. And we thought, we could probably use a little more music because we just had a couple of songs. And so then I kind of sidled up to Greg and said, hey, you want to do a couple of songs? And then you could tell him what it really turned into.
So then we started working on the songs, and we did a couple, wrote a couple, and I guess you liked them because now there's 8 or 9 songs in the show. So it really has turned out into a very, for me, a very interesting mix of drama and comedy and music and even dance, and it's very interesting.
That whole environment behind the razor wire is kind of unknown to most of us on the outside. And we heard things that were really compelling and interesting, like that a fellow might really miss drinking out of a glass, something that I never would have thought of, or driving a car. Obviously, inmates aren't driving cars for years at a time. That someone would miss that. I just hadn't even thought of that. Or I overheard a conversation between 2 inmates one time where they were talking about what kind of soap did they buy at the commissary and whether or not the soap dried out their skin. And these were big, tough-looking guys. But that attention to those small things, because they don't have a lot of choice on the inside, was something that really struck both of us and something we wanted to insert in the stories that we told. Three Hots and a Cot is being performed at the Rochester Repertory Theatre. It opens January 11th and closes January 27th. So that's 3 weekends. There are Thursday performances the middle and last weekend, and a Sunday matinee on the 27th.
Yeah, the Rep was very welcoming to allow us to bring in a show we've never done outside of prison and do it here at the Rep. And they were very open to having the world premiere of this play, world premiere on the outside, be at their theater.